Hey guys, I thought we would just finish this box we started today. So we've got a bonus stream here today. Amazing Spider-Man number 296, John Byrne cover from 1987. Was this black costume up here in the Ditko box? Spider-Man as a spider, taking on Dr. Octavius. 70 years at this time, not for resale. This came with a Marvel Legends figure, I'm sure. Avengers number 51, Thor, Iron Man, plus the restored power of Goliath. Yeah, Goliath gives Goliath some love. Sure, there's Giant Man, but do you remember him as? Of course, Hawkeye was kind of in that role for a while. Giant Man, anyway, could grow. I forget exactly how, but I mean, I'm sure you're using PIM particles. Avenging Spider-Man, number 1. We're changing the title to the ever-loving Avenging Thing, right, pal? Yep. Okay, so, all right, they just changed it on the cover artwork, kind of a spoof. Avenging Thing. Okay. Annual number 1. Yeah, right. Don't know who did well, let's see. Don't know who that signature is. Symbol. Of course, it's with the white costume for the thing. And I really like this cover. Can't tell you. Let's see. Well, maybe I can. There's a little disruption there of the signature. I think they wrote this. Well, that may just be a little inking on the block floor there. Don't know who did this. I would say, oh gosh, that inking right there, that hatching. Well, anyway, Chamber of Chills number 8, a great Bronze Age 20 center, regardless. Hey, Shadowhawk. Yeah, Prisoner. Alicia, I forget how to say his name, but wonderful bat and castle up here. Hey, Return Trading. You don't have a wrench. I'll give you a wrench. You can be a moderator. How about that? There you go. My gift to you for coming in here. Return Trading. Oh, that's killer. Right up my alley. Yeah. Yeah. Love the logo. I mean, Marvel used to put out some very entertaining stuff, you know. Oh. And this is why you mark on the tape or somewhere. Mark Jewelers variant. I gave $2.67 for it. So this was a military copy, you know, sold at PXs and on military bases. Mark Jewelers. You want to check them out. Let's just open this bad boy up real quick. Hell, Return Trading. Boom. Yeah. Good to see you in here. I think this is the first time you've been trading. So double dose of Devil Flyer. Get your Ashkins now. Thank you for dropping the link. Link is up there in my Twitter as well. Really excited about the way things are going on. I've got one more panel for Gray Tales to draw, thumbnail out that I'm actually taking from like a Robin or Batman. It's Joker and Robin. This is from 1973. Chamber of Chills, number 8. January 1974. Got to make sure you read that right. She wouldn't stay dead is the first story. Yeah, she wouldn't stay dead. This looks like even pinholes, maybe even on the cover. You don't have any pinholes on the cover. Oh, 8 tracks. We can get 8 tracks. Now, what was I going to check this for? Oh, the Mark Jewelers. Yeah. If you don't know what Mark Jewelers is, this is one of their ads. It's a card stock, so it's stiffer, and would have sold on military bases, trying to sell them rings, class rings, military rings, things like that. There's one that I think is it's not from Mark Jewelers, but it's actually a printed ad in there. And I wonder, was that, one on those Hulks that I showed the other day that were a great lot? Because most of them, I think all but 3 of them, I can't remember how many. See, here's Marine, Vietnam vets, Air Force, Navy, uh, Zodiac. They had Zodiac rings. It's a wonder they didn't have mood rings. And here's a waterproof skin diver watch that they sold. So a Red Baron ring with the Red Baron scene, uh, just different things. And you had a business reply card that you could cut out. And although I'm glad they didn't, uh, but you can generally tell from the top, if you're looking at back issues, because the card stock is generally, uh, colored like this, black or depends on the ad, but you can tell from the top and the feel of the book if you can take it out of the board and bag, at the store or wherever you're buying it from. But just bunch of rings, mostly Mark Jeweler um, variant. These are, uh, highly sought after by some collectors. I don't know if you can see it, but right in the middle, generally in the middle of the book, there's I don't know if my camera will pick that up, because we're dealing with flat here, but um, generally you can look at the top here and you can see, oh, that's got something, yeah, in there. That's making that dark line. Um, Yeah, these were generally reprints from the 50s, so and some of them really I mean, here's a guy blowing his own head off, it looks like, off camera, but werewolf story, I don't know, a wolf setting up, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's been bitten, but argh, I don't know if you'd have time to make a sound. Looks like he's turned the rifle on himself and shot himself in the head. So yeah, I mean, some of it pre-code Atlas comics that came out. Um, uh, you know, I wonder, and I don't know the years. I should. I probably should. Hey, Manticore, um, if this had Marvel, hey, hell, Apex is in here. All right, Apex, film back coming soon. Uh, Yeah, and my mail up should be coming in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, for the 48 pager. So I'll be putting up another mail up too. Uh, just got to make sure we get some scans in from different artists, and you know see what we can do on putting some pictures and stuff up on the campaign. Uh, just checking this. You want to get these Mark Jewelers. And you can still find them out in the wild. Like I said, I bought, a bunch of 80s Hulks and they ran for a good long time. I wish I knew. Maybe early 70s to like up into the 90s. So uh, I used to know the exact years. I mean, somewhere logged in my brain somewhere are the years that the Mark Jewelers, but they ran for a good long time, couple decades in comics, over a couple decades. Uh, Shadowhawk backs, is glass half full? Could be, could be. Don't forget to drop, like for Rex. Yeah, thank you. Uh, Appreciate that. Terror in the North. A lot of classic artists in here. Just want to check this real quick and see if it has. I think this is a little early. Classic Evil Knievel ad on the back with the stunt cycle. And I guess he had a van and, I know he had a rocket too, when he, maybe not this early, but when I mean, here, they even on the commercial, they had him upside down on the handlebars, you could position the Evil Knievel doll or action figure, if you will, stand up, sit down. Where's the one? Where's the picture? Oh, right here, right up here. He's on the handlebars holding, driving it upside down. And they actually showed that rolling. I wonder, I'm sure kids tried that, but it's probably, I wonder how many takes they had to do with that um, to get that to do that. Looks like it might be a little discolored down here. I don't know. That may be just part of the coloring because it does go up in here. So that just may be the way it's colored. But it's an awesome Chamber of Chills cover. And I think that they probably repurposed some of the artwork from the 50s. Now, they may have done like, on some reprint books like Marvel Tales, they may have uh, did exclusive new covers to get you to buy it. But I know they did on Marvel Tales, but not always. They repurposed artwork too. But yeah, just a wonderful Chamber of Chills from the 70s. And Mark Jewelers, glad to see that. I really don't have a lot of Mark Jewelers. I had some, originally. Glad to see this. Great Bronze Age adventure into fear with the man called Morbius, the living vampire. Conditions, it's a Gil Kane cover. Of course, he first drew Morbius. He might have designed Morbius. I know he first drew him in Amazing Spider-Man 1 and in his origins 101 and his origin story in 102, which is reprinted right there in Vampire Tales #5, my first Marvel anything from 1973. And this #21, he had a run in Adventure into Fear. Great Gil Kane cover. And again, we have a little star up there. And I think that printed on the cover. And I think that's like a date stamp. It might have been the top copy. You can see breakage of color and stuff along the spine, but still good. Glad to have it in my collection. Uh, $2.67. And the next issue, #22, Adventure into Fear, Curse of the Cat Demon. Okay. Fear, fright, thrills in the traditional. Um, Maybe Ron Wilson cover, #22. That skull one you liked? I need that, but he did a few things, Ron Wilson. I want to say Ron Wilson, but it could be Pablo Marcos. I was showing some of his stuff on those Atlas books that are in this box. So, you can't rule him out. Now, this is just a classic cover. And again, it's got a little star in here on part on M and part on P here on Vampire from Gil Kane. Just classic pose with rats and the woman he's uh, bit, and it looks like a paint can with red, symbolizing blood without being blood. There in the corner. I mean, I just don't think that there was a greater artist as far as in the Bronze Age for the Marvel covers than Gil Kane. Just the way the stuff I mean, look at that scene. Just all the stuff he put in there, and he might even told him put red there. I don't know, but it's a great device, and there's that little star in between him and P. Like I say, I think it might be a date stamp, and I don't think that if you had it graded, it would count off. It really depends on where it's positioned, and who knows what they do. It's subjective. This one has Blade on the cover, #24, and the star's right up there by the 25 cents and the #24. So he's going up against Blade here. I heard the Morbius movie kind of tanked. Wasn't that good? Sorry to say that. I had hopes, not too high hopes. Uh, what do we got? Perceptions can be interesting. Playground with a little tinkering. Depends on the flavor, really. For the cat food, I mean, looks a little like Ron Wilson or John Romita. Yeah, I think I could recognize John Romita, his style. I could recognize him on inks too, especially in the faces. That's how I tell, is in the faces. Spidey is hard to tell. That's Morbius, I know, absolutely love. Uh, yeah, it's a classic cover. I have most, and it was probably used in ads, but a lot of them were. I have most of those Morbius Fear comics. That's good. I'm not surprised. Manticore says, "Yeah, I'm not either. I wouldn't mind seeing the Morbius movie. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. When it comes out, I'll probably buy it. Might wait a little bit and let it go down in price a little bit. Uh, I'm not in a hurry, but if they said it just depends. Anyway, I was very disappointed with the movie. See, that's what I'm saying. Why am I going to go pay full price even on a DVD that I'm probably going to watch once, and then when I feel like it another time, if I really like it, I'll watch it, you know, more than once. I mean, depends. Going to watch it again. I really need to start over with the Marvel movies, the early ones. But again, it'd be cool if the movies had some kind of branding on them that said, okay, here was the first Marvel movie, second, third, fourth in a series, because I forget, and some of them came out kind of like Miss Marvel and Endgame came out like that, you know. Um, and I haven't seen Miss Marvel, and I haven't even bit at, buying it at discount. If they want to offer it up to me for $5, I'll buy it. Uh, I'm very disappointed with the movie. Going to watch it again just because a lot of it was so dark. It was hard to tell what was going on. That's what I hate. And if you've heard me talk about movies, they've got a lot of sound effects, but you can't see anything. They film it so dark. Um, I hate that. Watching Doctor Strange on Sunday. Oh, is that the new Doctor Strange movie coming out, Apex? I've stopped giving Hollywood my money unless something is really like even then I'm devastated. I'm the same way, Manticore. I'm the same way. Uh, I I ain't got a lot of disposable income anyway. Even if I did, and I'm just very, very picky right now. I've got a complete run of the Fear series. That's cool. The first complete run I bought, I was 19, I think. Wow. So did you pick them up later, I guess, after they come out? Same here, Rex. I I hate that crap too. Yeah. Uh, I mean, they've done it in X-Men movies, they've done it, and I think they're just, like, trying to say, I mean, what who wants to go to the movies and see, a black screen? I wanna see the action, and they're not giving it to us. They're showing us a black screen. I mean, they're supposed to be showing us something. If they hadn't got the CG budget, then they need to write around it. I mean, maybe there's no, it's just a cheat. I don't like it. It pisses me off like nothing else in movies. You know, I've not tried, lightening my screen and seeing if I can see something, but you shouldn't have to do that. That's what I've been complaining about some of the new comics. The new colorist stuff today, I can't see. The stuff's too dark. And I'm not saying that there's not stuff like that, but that's supposed to be dark. And that's kind of a showcase, an essential book, from DC. The only reason I'm showing, and that's a nighttime scene with gargoyles, and he's in there watching TV. So that's supposed to be the mood of it. But I'm not saying they didn't do dark covers, but it should pop like this madman here, where you can see from a distance what's going on. And I see colorists getting dark colors. I don't like it, you know, because I think comics should be wow, or black and white. Black and white's good contrast. And I grew up with black and white TV when I was real young, and I know how it switched over to color. But because I'm an optimist, I'm a pessimist. a pessimist would say it was half empty. Yeah, perception is full. I've went back up. It's funny like that. People glasses are yeah half empty cat food. Uh, Manticore says they have a history of running films I enjoy into the ground. Yeah, they do. And I hate that too. Shadowhawk back, sweet. That means you have some Man Thing and Morbius. Yeah. What I miss a lot and don't have a lot of, but I have a few, are the Marvel magazines. See, it was the monster craze in the early 70s. And I liked all the 60s cartoons and the superhero stuff, but I was too young to buy anything. But in 73 to get that was a couple years before I even got some of my first comics, and really started about 75, 76 collecting. Here's another star with a circle on it. Some of them are more noticeable than others. This one's not very noticeable. This is number 29. I hate to gas that artist. You know, I mean this. I mean this guy's face here. Like I say, I go by faces, and Morbius kind of could be Ron Wilson cover, but definitely inked by somebody else. I mean, which usually did. He was heavy-handed, they said, with the pencil early on. Um, they made a joke at the convention that I saw him at in '83 in Memphis, that they had to pour the ink into his graphite lines that he drew. He drew so heavily handed with his pencil. Great, wonderful Defenders cover. I like images within images. The Defenders number 38. Now Nebulon has sentenced the Defenders to become exiles in oblivion. Gorilla cover set, but Defender's got to be a little different. Space Gorilla, it's green. Um, BS is maybe one of you can tell me. 25 cents. B probably. Basima and Senate probably on the inks. Green Gorilla reminds me of Changeling or Beast Boy. Sorry. Yeah, I brought copies off the rack. Oh, you did. Missed a lot. So 1986, I found a complete 33 set Man Thing 1 through. Yeah, you've got a hell of a collection. I know. If Marvel produced Bronze Age comic style comics, they should publish Marvel Monster Team Up. Yeah, and I just heard Billy Tucci on Dojo Coon. This is like yesterday's stream, or not too long ago. He was saying like, I want to do like a kill all monsters like that are in CG with she. So that would be interesting. I'd be glad to get like a monster thing in there, but I don't think I'm far enough along. And he's talking about crowdfunding that in 2023. So maybe I got time to get something out there for something that he might want to pick, like Kill Dragon or Blood Dragon or something. Um, I'd even, with two of them out there, I'd even let him off one, kill one. That'd be cool. I'll let you kill him, you know, especially if I got two of them. But that's pretty neat. They're pretty neat concept there that y'all gave me. I've always got most of Man Things run from the early mid 80s. Civility's here. Hey, it's a late show tonight. Yeah. One of the best things. Well, I mean, I did a show today, but yeah, here's a bonus stream finishing up the box. One of the best things about CG is lots of monster comics. I'm in heaven. Yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah. I mean, I like monster comics, Compass Comics come out with that stuff. He does too. One of the you know one of the best. Wait a minute, Shadow Hogbacks have most of the Volume One Man Thing and all the annuals. Yeah, I mean, I would say, look, I've got behind all this stuff. I've got showcases like that one. from DC, and I have the Essentials, most of them. And even those go out of print and they become collectible. I paid $50 for one of them, and that's just reprint black and white material. But for me, it helps me identify stuff, you know. So I've put, $2,000-3,000 in just the reprint books, and I still have some stuff that I could get, that they've come out with, but our newer stuff like Wolverine and stuff like that. But it'd be nice to have it, because I've got a lot of replacement to do from my fire. Lee Weeks and Adam Hughes art, June 1993, first appearance of Ghost, David Dorman cover, 38 cents. Yeah. Uh, I, not too long ago, a year or so, maybe not quite a year, I got a bunch of these off eBay. I think this is due to go up in price. Adam Hughes, and first appearance of Ghost. You can generally get them pretty cheap. They were only $1 when they came out, part of their dollar line. Some of the probably the cheapest, first appearance of Bob Wire, Monster, um, a lot of their characters, and they've had a lot of great covers. Reminds me of the Blinded, two gun shooting. What's her name? The other character, but this is Ghost, and she's had a lot of crossovers and stuff. I think this one's due to go up, especially with Adam Hughes, and it's fairly reasonable now. This is my recommendation. I got mine 3 or 4 or whatever copies, so I suggest you do the same. I think that one will go up. Here's Ghost number 15. Inside when a free barbed wire Triumph motorcycle. Oh, yeah. I guess she was born in 1821. A good man with a bad heart. No, that wouldn't be her grave, and died 1894. I thought she might have been coming out of her own grave, but it says a good man with a bad heart. That don't look like a man to me, whoever did the cover. Hmm. Now tell me that don't look like an interesting character. If you had a Ghost movie, her first appearance, shoo. I don't think they overly printed. Got 38 cents on that one, 38 cents on this one. Number 17. Love this death-like character biting her. Oh, were that were me biting her. And she were real. Number 17. 38 cents. Come on. That's some pulp like goodness, Thick one here. Frank Miller wrote it. David Gibbons artwork. Give Liberty, An American Dream. 3, Healthy Health and Welfare. $0.38 is a lot better than the cover price of $4.95. $5 book when it came out. I would never give that for that. Gizmo presents. What number is this? No number. Oh, number 2. Yeah, I think I had a Gizmo number 2 I showed the other day. Very same book. 38 cents on that one. This is from Mirage that did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mirage Studios presents Gizmo. Remember Gizmo? Go Boy 7. Okay. Rocket Comics, number 3. I don't know what's going on there. Whatever. 38 cents. Go Boy number 7. I can kind of know what's going on here. Touch and Go, number 4. Rocket Comics. Good Complex. Okay. God Complex. Sorry. From the co-creator of Artists of Powers, Michael A. Oming. Number 1. God Complex from Image. Interesting. Cover. 38 cents. God Complex number 3. Had some, I like the Powers I mean, maybe not the stories because I haven't read them and I've heard they're whatever. I mean, matter of opinion, I guess. But I do like the almost, and some of you might kill me for this, Mike Mignola. I don't know, the more abstract like this. Um, they're not trying to be ultra realistic because that sure don't look like Neil Adams or Alex Ross. But Go Boy is contrast to Gone Girl. Yeah, Ghost would be a fantastic film. Yeah, I mean, I think it would. I've got a ghost story in Devil Flyer coming up. God Complex #7, and the ghost is going to be a character that reoccurs. #7. This reminds me of Hercules and the different feats that he had to do. Hercules is kind of one of my, he's kind of cool in the Marvel universe. He's my favorite iteration of him. And I remember getting this back in the day, Gods for Hire, or I had it in my first collection, I think. Comics. #1, Gods for Hire. Have you seen that? And let me look here. Barry Crane cover and Kelly Michael Jones on the inks from 1986. 38 cents. Gods for Hire. It's the Heroes for Hire. Hot comics. Godland. Trying to think. Image. Yeah. Maybe Godland. I like these because they were kind of Kirby-esque. This is #19 from July 2007 from Image. Sort of a bug lady. Not so much Kirby on this one. Godland, yeah, Kirby coming out here. Book 20. Viva Las Volgar. Okay. November 2007. Godland. Somebody said, that the reading on that, I don't know. I think I did read part of the trade paperback or something, got it in trade paperback form, but I've got a lot of Godland singles. Pretty good on the run. I like the Kirby-esque type thing. The Shadowhawk back says the Monster comics will always be my first love. Then X-Men, Byrne Claremont years. Yes, you have excellent taste. And then the late 80s, early 90s, just fun at the time. Yeah. And they're not just fun comics, they're memories. Until you've lost a collection, what and there was so much, I don't even know what I lost. And some meant more than others than me. Uh, I love this cover. Book 16, Strange but True Godland. Only 60 cents. So I'll probably pick this one up. 60 cents I can afford. Hey, Lightning Bolt, very Kirby-esque. Kirby Crackle character. Look at all those characters in that Lightning Bolt. A lot of characters. A lot of Kirby-esque type characters like this big dude there. Nice cover. Striking. I could put that 30 feet away and you would kind of know what's going on. Simple design. Like that. 38 cents. God Will. Can I put this back? Can you tell me what's on it? Hell no. Ultra Universe, Malibu Comics, #3. I'm going to say maybe Ron Friend's Thor up here. Thor down here by George Perez. He didn't do the whole cover, but he did this. Thunder Strikes the Ultraverse, Thor. Yeah. George Perez insert. Got the mouth open. Love the pumpkins, though. So 3 artists here. here, and here. Like it. I think that's Ron Friends. 38 cents. Blackthorn Publishing. I've got a werewolf page, of original artwork from Werewolf, I think it was called, that I've shown back when. Big paper, but not as big as Golden Age. That's one of my most watched videos. I show you a Marvel page, which is about this big. No, it's bigger, but it's small compared to a Blackthorn Publishing, and then compared to a giant size. Marvel's was dinky, the paper they gave you to draw on. Blackthorn Publishing, number 1. This is a 3D series, so it's in 3D. Golden, yeah, in 3D. A woman caught in time, and it should say ahistorical. That's an error, right? And an historic adventure. Is that correct English? I would think it's a historic adventure because H is not a vowel. 3D action. A historic adventure, it should read, but it says an historic adventure. I guess you could allow that. I don't know. 3D. The 3D books, not so, 38. I can see where it was a thing, when you had like in the early 50s, there was a 3D craze when it first came out in the movies. Gaga, 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 hint. I don't know. Caliber Comics, issue 1. Dope looking cover, black sensitive cover. Just can't pronounce it, but that's me. Still learning English. Pistols raised. Looks like a badass character. Caliber. 38 cents. Oh, Rex, my spine crawls every time you mention that. Mention what? 3D books never really pulled off 3D very well. No, they didn't in the 80s, really. But, like they had the troll thing in 3D and whatnot. This is gone. You need a good name that just like that. If I've got to figure out, and this is that neat logo from Eternity Comics, but they only use the symbol. That's not good branding unless you really know the company. Now, Marvel could get away with this. This Eternity Comics, they can't get away with that. Nobody knows what that is. By Madman. Gonad, maybe it's Gonad, huh? Gonad, the Barbarian. Yeah. Full color ads. No, full color, no ads. Free game on the back cover. An action-packed comedy for mature readers. Okay. Nice painted like cover, like the logo and everything. The fire, dude. Oh. Oh, Rex, my spine crawls every time you mention that. What fire? I don't know. I'm dense. Hey, citizen. Good to see you. Geno Cyber. Okay. From Viz Select Comics. Little manga, number 3. I will give you the back of my hand. Tell me you love me. 38 cents. Same thing, number 2. $0.38. 38-cent box. Headhunters, number 3. Image. Black and red cover. Yellow logo. By Chris M. Art by Chris M. Whoever that is. Dead body in the sewer. Oh, the skulls are a nice touch. Didn't see that. right off. Little white and all that. Now, if it was red, it would have, not if everything else was red, but yeah, it being white, it's like, whoa, but you don't respond to white. You're responding to, at least I did, to all the red and whatnot. That's a nice touch. The white skulls there visually, because you don't notice it, you know, at first. I didn't. Tells me some thought went into that, at least by the colorist. Hero Zero, probably his first appearance. Week 2. I don't know if that's his first appearance or not. He was like a big kaiju like hero and going up against a dragon. Hero Zero. But yeah, these things are so cheap. You need to get, at least like Bob Wire's first appearance. That's still, and she's already done one movie. You know they're going to do a remake, and they might actually make it good this time. Not that the old one was that bad. It was some fun. The Fire That Got Your First Collection. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm in the Twilight Zone here. I've only had 2. Wasn't the booze. Yeah. Hey, good to see you. Yes, Shadowhawk Backs, 2 Shadowhawk Backs from System 333. Yeah, I mean, imagine my shock. Somebody one up me. Vic King. Vic said, he lost 30,000 books. Now he had doubles, triples, quadruples of some things. That's the way my collection is. If I pared down my collection, I wouldn't have 30,000 because I have multiples. But then I bought out a comic book shop. Now I got rid of a lot of the multiples that really didn't matter that much on a trade, like 10 long boxes worth, to help my friend out who had the Daily Planet, was the name of his store. And he ran it for at least 5 years, maybe over that. And I was kind of the one that got him going on that, to go into that. So that's pretty cool. Hero Zero, number 0. Not his first appearance, I know. Probably that other one was. I don't even remember this. Might be a little obscure one that needs to be found. 38 cents. DC Comics Hero Hotline. Number 3 of 6. This came out in June 1989. It's white, and it's this one's kind of, I don't know, browning, stained, whatever, condition sensitive, just like a black cover. Not the best shape, but I mean, 38 cents, and I really didn't want to spend that much on it, but yeah, neat. And I know it's kind of like a spoofy type thing that they came out with. Hero spoof. Let's see. Heroes and Legends, the world's greatest comics. Yeah, it's got Dick Ayers and John Buscema, Ditko, Kane, Palmer, Lilola, huh? He did Spider-Man 2099 and Fielder. November 1997. This has crumpled. I mean, this one needs a pressing somewhat. It's got a mark here. The original Avengers, a markation there, but that might mostly press out. A mark's okay, but you don't. I mean, it's not wonderful, but it could press out. But you don't. You don't want it to have breakage of color like this kind of crumpling here. The original Avengers together again in an untold tale of suspense. Enough said. The Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, Quicksilver, Giant Man, and Wasp. And the wonderful burn heads that I used to have that burn up in the fire. The original, there's 4 of them. It was on that page. Black around the edge. Kind of nice. Yeah, this one could use a pressing. 38 cents. I'll try not to bring out the chill fire factor again. So what do you guys think about this idea of going to start my YouTube channel, buy reviews for All 300 campaigns I have backed in the order that I backed them. Wow. See, I need to get my information because they're only going so about far, like May of last year for me, and I go all the way back to about almost May of 2020 since I've been backing. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I mean, getting that content up there and CG content like that too. Yeah, including who, because I haven't read most of mine. If you've read them, you can give me some insights, including who was on the top, who was on time, late, etc. Yeah, any of those little facts, extra stretch goals. I'm still waiting on my one from 2019, which I probably backed it in later, mid to late oddity. I that's just one that's late for me, including who was on my Indiegogo was all of my stuff. Hey, Cross Comics on my account. Oh, mine doesn't. For some reason, mine doesn't. And Death's Roud's creator, Clint, or whatever his name is, says he needs a screenshot of that for him to send me a book. And he's getting ready to send. He didn't even reply on Instagram when I said, well, when's number 2 launching? I don't care. Okay. I don't want to back your books then again. But I'll find you the proof. And when I do, you better send me the book. Or I'll use this channel to warn people against you. Now, maybe he'll do me right, but I've got to get the proof for him first. Call Indiegogo. Sounds like great idea. Yep. Cross Comic says Heroes for Hire, number 4. Yeah, this is instead of 3, there's 4. Charlie's Angels. Charlie's Angels pose. Oh, yeah. Probably from the movie, huh? Strut that stuff. Tombstone with women. Huh? Yeah. I'm your Huckleberry. 38 cents. Hazard, number 6 from Image. Ron A. Martinez and Alan Goulan inks. 38 cents. Hazard. Nice cover. Limited palette. Nice logo. Been pretty neat. I mean, even the way I was looking at it here, if they smeared it like it was coming down, like it was moving, like it was falling. I might have to do that on a cover. That'd be cool, like the logos in motion. Let's laugh out loud. Thanks, you guys. Shadowhawk Bag. I want to do something no one else has thought about yet. I have a project in the works already as well, but don't want to rush it. Yeah, and for now, it's secret. Oh, damn you. Oh, yeah, I don't blame you. Hazard number 3. See what I mean about dark covers? I mean, compared to this one, and this was dark enough. I mean, limited palette. Depending on what lighting you have, but yeah. Make that cover pop. Hazard number 1. Simple. I'm badass. Really. If Dale Keown drew this, it'd be badass. This is kind of weak, in my opinion. I mean, it's okay, but you are compelled, Jedi mind trick, to buy this comic. Yeah, right. I'm going to lay down what? 38 cents? Yeah. If I got it. $1.75. Not a lot of money by today's standards, but probably when it came out, one of the higher comic books. Secret projects are usually worthy projects. Okay, then I won't tell you any more about mine. I'll just keep it a secret. I want to spill the beans on all of it. I think it's cool, but that would ruin the enjoyment. It's really a fine line, like a tightrope. how much to reveal and when. I've heard arguments on both. Oh, you're a new creator, nobody knows you, so you need to give away more of your story. And then I've heard right the opposite argument too. So I think you don't throw in the whole tackle box, all your bait at once. You use one piece at a time. So, when you build the excitement, hopefully, is about the way I look at it. Michael Moorcock's Hawk Moon, the Mad God's Amulet. I remember when the first one came out. I have well, no, it's not Hawk Moon. It's Eldrick from Pacific Comics. I have a promo poster that survived my fire because it was in my, there's that fire again. Number 2 from First Comics, 2 of number 4 is a limited series of Hawk Moon. He had his own comic too. One run that stands out in my mind that I like to use for reference is Whisper from First Capital Comics, then First Comics. There was 3 big ones that stick out in my name that stick out in my mind. Nexus, Badger, and Whisper started out at Capital and quickly went over to someone else, probably First. This is number 3 of 4. Great cover. Art style reminds me of Barry Windsor Smith. Number 3. Not your normal line. Check that tail out. It's like spiky. All right. Hawk Moon, the Rune Staff. This is number 2 from First Comics. So I guess this is his series. Or I don't know. I guess maybe they might have had a series of Rune Staff. Interesting Art Deco like thing going on there. That's what I would attribute it to. This border they're using, which I think was on some of the others, right? I mean, they're always stylized borders. This one being a little bit more angular, very art deco. That came out in the 20s, art deco. Number 4 for Mad God's Amulet again. I have to show them in the order I graphed them. This reminds me of Braveheart when they're charging, and they put the spears up. And that's a historical fact. That's how that was how they first stopped the cavalry from running right over them. Long, except it wasn't just spears. It was like they would take younger trees and make these long ass staffs and sharpen them. And then that's what they used, where they couldn't even when the horses tumble over, it probably wouldn't hit on them because they're so far away. But, yeah, man, man's inhumanity to man. Looks like this guy's fighting man bats here. 4 of 4 in Jewel in the Skull. So maybe he just had limited series and more than one, I guess, storylines. Very Hawkmanish, looking symbol. Of course, maybe they took that from that and used that in Hawkman. Hell yeah, you don't want to ruin the surprise. You are the best. I appreciate the feedback. Yeah. Hawkmoon, the Sword of the Dawn, number 1 of 4. Yeah, this is the Dorman painted cover. Some of those have probably been Dorman's, and I mean his signature's so small, but this is probably reduced from a painting. No telling what size the original art is. Some 80s goodness that I just went, yeah, at the time. But for 38 cents, hell yeah. First Comics also had Grimjack, didn't it? Now that I like. Now I like this cover, just the creature and whatnot, but still, yeah. Another Dorman cover. Number 4. If I probably went back, a lot of those were probably Dorman covers. Lorenzo lizard representation right there. Gonna cut his tongue off, save his friend. Hell yeah. Hawk World. Speaking of Hawk Man, number 13 from July 1991. Auslander and Mandrake, Tom Mandrake artwork. I think Mandrake away now. I met Auslander in Chicago and Memphis, 1985. Nolan, or maybe it's 86. Graham Nolan cover, 1991. Hawkman number 13. Yeah, I like this character too, out of Firestorm. Can't remember her name. Can you? Graham Nolan cover. Maybe I'll get him to sign it. I got too many things done by him to get them all signed. Mr. Nolan, could you sign this for me? Don't hit him all up at once, Hawk World, more lizard representation. Looking for who might have did the. Could be Timothy Truman. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't know about if it'd be Graham Nolan at all. This is from August 1991, number 14. Of course, these characters go way back, although their masks are different here. In the Hawkman, back to the Silver Age, when Joe Kubert was drawing it. Worry, Shadowhawk said, worry about someone launching something similar to mine. No, you just have to get it out before I get ready. Yeah, I mean, go for it, man. Just work on it daily. Do something on it. But it worked towards that goal. But I guess to that, a standard worry for ideal people. Yeah. Hey, Graham, could you sign the long box full of comics, please? Yeah. Yeah, that'd go over like a lead balloon. Who the hell are you again? How much are you going to pay me for this? $1,000. Okay. No, don't worry about copycats. They're a dime a dozen. Yeah, and I mean, nobody's going to tell the unique story that you tell. Shadowhawk Backs, thanks again. Citizen 333. My new character, Sea Demon, is going to kick ass. Cool. You probably use Sea Demon. Might be public domain. I don't know. I don't have it copyrighted yet. Not him, and I've had him since 93, but I think Sea Demon, probably shouldn't have said that, but it's true. I mean, I think probably anybody could use that. I know you're just joking. Hawk World number 17, number November 1991. Yeah, I need a bourbon now. Graham Nolan? Could be. When they have graffiti in the background, I gotta wonder about it. Queens something. I mean, oh yeah, Nolan down here in the darkness. He probably did most of these. Up to, about 20 something. Then I think it changes. I think he got off of it. Yeah. This is Nolan, number 19. I was really, I was really grateful for Blockbuster bringing back, some of those 60 cartoons that I'd seen and totally forgot about. The Marvel ones, Hawkman, the old Filmation stuff that had Hawkman, Teen Titans, and I really identified with them because they were younger heroes. They were one of my favorites out of all that. The Justice League, Superman, Flash, Atom, did by Filmation, early Filmation. Um, of course, the Batman series done by Filmation with Ted Knight doing the Joker. He did a lot of their voices for them. Uh, this is from Fantasy General Comics. The mind knows, the mouth does not say, and I've not even had a stroke that I know of. Exploring Tomorrow's Dreams. Premiere issue, a 3-issue mini might series. Okay. Heavy Armor, number 1. Okay. Now, that's low print. Come on. I think I've got some more stuff done by them. I think this is a little dragon here in their logo. They might have changed it up a little bit from this, but this is probably going to be mid-80s. Image, nice logo. Nicely done. Now, you can't even read it back there, kid. The background sticks out more than the logo. Okay. They want it to look like crystal or glass. That's fine. But can we make it readable? It's the Hedge Knight. And looking at this, man, this is really Del Keown looking to me. I'm not saying he did it, but it looks Del Keown inspired. Number 1 from Image. But read that logo. The Hedge Knight. But it's hard to read. But yeah, look at the face, and looks a little Del Keown-ish to me. Interesting. I mean, but who wants to give who wants to give me $2.95 for this? I got 38 cents. Got some long. I mean, even newer comics, it's got a little loss of, or that could have been done in printing because it does follow a line. A little white there up top. There we go. I think you can see that. It could be printing. Hedge, Knight, and then they double down on you're reading 2. Roman numerals 2. Sworn Sword. I like this one better. I mean, art-wise. Number 1. It reminds me of Prince Valiant. I guess it's his coat of arms on his, chest. Dragon cover. The Hedge Knight 2. Duh. Heartbreakers. Oh yeah, mama. Break my heart. I don't even know why I care. Tony Akins? Tony and Paul G something Gunman, maybe? 1995. 1 of 4 Heartbreakers. Yeah, shoot up the bar. What we got? Clones Nation, Lone Star. Just all kinds of different stuff in the background to read. Interesting. I think what hurts Dark Horse, and they keep on going, that's great, is that they have interesting projects, interesting, like Alien, of course, and Predator, which they don't have anymore. Now Marvel's got it. after like 20 years of that property or more. But I mean, they don't have a cohesive universe. I mean, Barbed Wire and Monster and a Ghost and titles like that. Um, they were a flash in the pan. I guess maybe that was an attempt, but you got to do better than that. Put together some kind of universe or something that really brands, I don't know. But they're apparently they're managing things okay over there at Dark Horse. As soon as I say that, they go out of business or announce going out of business. But yeah, Nazi cover, High Roads, 1 of 6 from Cliffhanger. Nazis and the Japanese and Adolf Hitler cover, although he looks like he's been hitting the pork, eating a lot. Well, I think that's Hitler. Not everybody that had a mustache like that, a bristle mustache. She's saying, Flash. Ah. Gotta work it in when I can. High Roads, number 2 of 6. Swastika. I had to go in code and talk to this, not really skinhead, but what do you call them? Ultra, white supremacist. And they would have tattooed on them, who's a young guy and his dad had died. Well, hell, I don't know if his father, you know, he was up for counseling, and that's their home, their little room that they share. That's their home. And I always knocked. They don't have doors. Now, I've had some that had swing doors, and that's the ones I was really scared about because, somebody bigger than me or a couple guys could grab me while the guards aren't looking and shut that metal door. And they had metal doors. It's like, what the hell? But most of the little pods, that's their home. So I always knock and say, can I come in? That's only courtesy. That's their space. I'm not just going to walk in because there's no door. But yeah, I mean, somebody could grab me, take my clothes off, and try and walk out the front gate. But fortunately, that never happened. But I was aware of it, leery of it. Homage Studios swimsuit special. But yeah, I had to go in code and talk to this guy about his dad, which I knew nothing about. I was fulfilling my hours as a part-time helper to the chaplain. Uh, and some would call me Chap and Rev and Preacher and whatever they wanted to call me. But, Bible toter, they never called me that. But I mean, and kind of counsel this guy about a guy that didn't know. And I mean, just blank, just all 3 of them. At least I was white. If I was black, they probably wouldn't want me in there, or some other race. But yeah, I mean, that's something else. You got like SS, stormtroopers here, and I got to sit down and, well, I'm sure he loved you. I mean, I don't know what we know if he abused you or if he was a good father or a bad father. I don't know. What do you say? When you sit down with somebody and try and counsel them over the recent death of their father. Now, before that, I had, a great experience with this other guy talking about the death of his grandmother. Everything worked out all right there. But that one was a little, wow, man, this is a tough crowd. Jim Lee, Pistachio, uh, and Mark Silvestri, Scott Williams, and more. Yeah. The Homage Studio swimsuit special, number 1. Let's see. No date on that. April. Early 90s, I think. 38 cents. Honeymooners, comic book, Phantom. Green Lantern. Honeymooners 8 of 24. That's odd numbering. Looks like the old Green Lantern. It's about Phantom. I think Honeymooners in the 50s ran on TV for 2 seasons. It was at the number 1 on TV at the time. And I haven't watched the thing on YouTube. You can go on YouTube. But Jackie Gleason explains why they shut it down after only 2 seasons. And it was number 1 on TV. Everybody loved it at the time. But they only did 2 seasons. They quit when they were on number 1. I don't know. Still being watched today. This is unusual full cover. Pocket Change Comics for $2.50. That's more than Top Pocket Change. Yeah, it's going to kick ass. Yeah. So you were a chaplain's assistant once? Yeah, in the prisons for like 6-something years. I worked with the homeless at about 45 minutes down the road in Paragould for like a year and a half, and then here for about, how long was it? In Jonesboro here at the homeless shelter for about that long, maybe a year. And I worked at the Salvation Army for like 4 months. Did I get that right? If so, that's pretty interesting. Oh yeah, I've worked with some pretty rough crowd. That was part of what Ryan Furniture was talking about. All that. I don't know if I talked about the prisoners. Maybe I did. Into the Dream Realm, The Holy Night by Chuck Dixon. Boy, he does everything. Pocket Change. I think that's Chuck Dixon. Probably is. And Shriver. Okay. Anyway, nice, kind of printed on full. I don't know, man. Black sensitive cover, but this cover's a little bit tougher. Can take some damage, but still condition sensitive. The Holy Night. Didn't even tell you the title. The Holy Night. So it'd be interesting if that's Chuck Dixon. Probably is. Now this would be one to get because it's very limited. Got to be limited. Pocket Change Comics. Ever heard of them? Of course, that would be bad if it was the wrong Dixon, right? Could you sign this? This isn't my work. Oh, sorry, dude. Can you sign the other 94 I have here for you? That's the way you do it. Wow, that's awesome, man. Did I get that right? Yep, you did. Yeah, I lived at a homeless shelter for a year and a half. That first one over there in Paragould was kind of the resident chaplain there, spiritual advisor, whatever. Resident manager, made out schedules for, people that stayed there, had to cook, had to clean, had to deal with some real. And man, I came up against some stuff there. Look, brother, I had a covenant of witches one time praying out. I mean, they were wanting to kill me. Okay, it's pretty wild. And there was this witch there, but now she was like this, and that was my whole mission by God was to get her out of there. But she was like this with the resident manager for like 2.5 years before I got there, I think, or a year and a half at least, maybe 2 years. I don't know, but they were tight. And she would use, "Oh, you're homeless," civility. Well, drop on by, man. Stay in my truck or something. Hell, don't be homeless. And people become homeless for all types of reasons. There's some really mentally ill people out there, and there's some, uh, um, there was a couple. They didn't have an older couple too, maybe in their 60s, late 60s, maybe even older in their 70s, and their house burnt down. Didn't have anywhere to go, so they stayed with us a while. Hell Ho One, number one, from Image. Talk about dark covers. I mean, I get it if you're going for a horror vibe or something, but you know, judge me from a distance. Okay, here's a black cover there. Let's see that. Let's see how much we see that at a distance. At least I can see that, you know, kind of sort of that it's interesting. Life can be hard sometimes. Oh, I live in an RV on a lawn for the moment. Uh, yeah, I mean, Hitman uh, by Garth Ennis wrote it. Black cover. Who dares wins? Some kind of military type thing. Number 23, February 98. Yeah, I learned a lot during that time. I mean, I was a year and a half over there. In between, I worked, I was waiting on getting one over here. Here's a great story, okay? The director of the one here in town came to visit us over there. Well, we've got a much larger facility. I could have been braggadocious and totally pissed him off, you know, although he's a sweetheart of a guy. But I could have been, and then ruined my options in the future to go into work for him. But I didn't do that. That was a good thing. I did maybe a little bit. I was proud of our facility, but I didn't do it to the point that I was obnoxious about it that he didn't want to hire me later. And through process of elimination, I was the only one left after 4 months of waiting. So he hired me, and I worked there for a year and a half at that homeless shelter. And then 9/11 happened, and about a year and a half later, I think it was, we closed down because we were always running in the red, and they sold it all off. Now, they did donate. They did have a great, strong youth program, had a strong board of directors. So, hey, Pops. And, um, and so they donated all the computers, the van, the facility. Now the ground, they were renting the ground from the city, and I think they still do, unless they purchased the land by now for a dollar a year. And the way the mayor looked at it was that you're providing a service and getting these kids off the street. So you never know how things come around. Be nice to everyone. You might be working for them later. Hitman number 23. Of course, Hitman's kind of come on TV, right? Nice black cover. Got military patch. A military like devil flyer patch made up. Got some stickers designed. A couple others designs last, and got him working on 2 splash pages for 2 stories. So things are moving. And Bullseye. I love this run. This was like an Oriental barbarian story. I think I've got a better copy than this. Probably had this one longer. Who is the World of War Hund? Okay. 1981. The artwork, yeah, and got some mouse chew right there on the corner. But anyway, number 5, Charlton Comics, 1982. Yeah, I loved Bullseye. This was actually the second Bullseye run. The first Bullseye run was in the early 70s, around 73, 74. Had, in their magazine size, had like, oh, Blue Beetle, Captain Atom, and this run did too. And one of my favorites, Thunder Bunny, slaps his hand, becomes an empowered bunny. It's pretty cool. And they just ran a crowdfunder, but didn't get funded. I can't imagine why, but it really is good stuff. Civility. What made the witches go after you in the first place? You trying to get your friend out? Well, when I first came in there, they didn't like it, and I had a lot of residents want to take me. They could have done it too, but it didn't happen. Thankfully, we had a warehouse that we kept stuff that was donated in, and also later we got a baler that would close. We would bale up clothes that were donated and bale them up in. I think it was clothes and bale them up in a brick and send them overseas. For other people to wear, and they want to take me out behind that warehouse and beat me to death. That's exactly what they told me to my face. There were death threats and stuff. But later, see, this woman was a witch. One time I remember I was in my room, she invaded my space. She was a married woman, had 4 kids, and while I knew her, she had another one, 5. I'm like, God, can't you make this woman sterile? Um, you know, Bail you up in a brick and ship. Yeah, they could have done that too. Boy, that would have been a bloody mass murder. Yeah, that came a little later. This is when I first started there, and we didn't have the bailer yet. Thankfully, they might have tried that option. That wouldn't have been fun at all. But um, uh, she could feign the spirit of knowledge, and she threw fear into this one guy. She says, "I know you were smoking dope with so and so behind that warehouse. It better not catch you doing that again, blah, 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 blah." She came in and disrupted a meeting I had and said, "You're demonized," to another woman who had life problems and troubles and stuff. But she wasn't the demonized one. It was the other woman, you know. And what was wild is when she got fired after I never did speak out against her because she was like this with you know, but finally the woman asked me the right questions and I told her what had been going on. And still she wasn't convinced. And she got some people to pray. And when she left that pastor's house, she didn't get a block and stopped her there at a restaurant. And she says, "I know what you've been doing. You were with such and 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 such praying against me." Well, some of these people came from out of state, and that there was no way she knew who they were. She named them by name. And she came off just real at her. If she kept her mouth shut, maybe things had been all right for a little while. She was thinking about hiring her with government grant money on a permanent basis because she was the first HUD recipient of a house, not HUD. What is that? Habitat for Humanity. And so uh, she came off so strong. She said, "Well, you don't, you're banned." And then for the church I was going to, uh, she came to my church for like 2 months, couldn't do anything. She left, went to another church, been there ever since. Entrenched like a tick under the skin, causing havoc wherever she goes. Believe me, all with a smile. You know, all the time she was saying, "You're binding me, Rex. You're binding me. You just don't know what my father can do." And I'm like, "I don't think I want to know what your father can do." Satan himself. And I always ask the question, was she doing it on purpose, God? Or was she doing it, um, or was it, or did she know what she was doing? Never got an answer, but I figured it out. It doesn't matter. If you're on train tracks and the train's headed toward you, you got 2 options: get out of the car or stay in the car and try and save yourself and the car. But while you're in the car trying to figure out what you're going to do, the decision's already made for you. The wrath of God or whatever, the train's, still headed towards you, you know? So, I mean, it doesn't matter if somebody does something on purpose or if it was by design, it's that they're doing it to you. Great life lesson. Then don't take things personal. Don't take things personal. You have a disagreement, make it right. And if you can't make it right, I tried, and go on. Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you meet a present. Oh man, there's this guy that came from Africa and he went out there to San Francisco, I think it was, or something like the slum areas of like, I mean, this is when it was before Nancy Pelosi bad, where people were shitting on the stoop and everywhere. Where you walk and in the park and everything. Um, Nasty, man. I mean, talk about the disease. Well said. Okay. Well, um, um, he and this other guy, he had just arrived. And this woman, she said she was dressed in rags. Rags. I mean, her clothes were just rags, torn up. And they're walking along, talking about the mission, whatever, that he's going to go. And it gets right with him. And she looks over at him and says, "Why don't you go back to Africa with your family?" Blah, 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 blah. Gave her knowledge that she shouldn't have, telling him that. And that confirmed to him, I'm supposed to be here because I know that, um, if the enemy knows I'm here and they're telling me to go back home, this is where I need to be. Some people walk into danger to avoid, not doing the right thing. I don't know. Um, that was pretty interesting story by him. Yeah, bail me up in a brick. Jeez, man. Yeah. Might as well get a guillotine. Gentex number 2. When did these come out? Early 90s, maybe. It's pretty interesting. Kind of the Marvel UK, brand that they sold over here. Had the X-Men in there too. Crossover. That's first appearance of Warhound. Probably the only appearance. Just to let you know. I wrote first appearance on the back. Number 6, Final Conflict. It was an interesting part of my time. I mean, life. If only someone would post more emojis in the chat. Yeah. And do I really know what they mean? No, because I'm dense. I say that enough times, maybe it'll come time. True. Valiant presents the Geomancer, Guardian of Earth, number 5. Peace symbols. Riot gear, part 1 of 2. Rags. Somebody did the cover. Anyway, that's Tool Rock, Dinosaur Hunter from Gold Key, the Valiant, used. Tool Rock with a gun. Too dark color. It's too dark. This is 90s, to me. The Geomancer, I should say, Guardian of Earth, number 3. This is interesting. Golem-like creature. Unnatural forces, like the Egyptian sarcophagi, too. We'll have an Egyptian sarcophagi in some Egyptology, hieroglyphs in Devil Flyer, one of the stories. Oh, yeah. Biker like, character. Hellstrom, Prince of Lies, number 5. Black Blair cover, 1993. I do like this character that's all kind of mummy wrapped. Pretty interesting. Eyes back here, too. Another character. Hellstrom. Blair cover. I forget what else Blair's done. A bunch of stuff. Prince of Lies. Hellstrom, I guess, would be like Son of Satan, the Bronze Age. I'm listening to the story, laugh out loud, making it Zoomer friendly. Rex can find a larger audience. Well, okay, yeah, hope so. Hellstrom, Prince of Lies, number 4, nice. Negative type image in here, just the way they have it colored, dark shadows. Trident Bearer, yeah, like Devil Flyer. Most of his power is infused into now I'm talking about Devil Flyer, into his trident. Most of his power. I'll give you that little caveat. It wasn't always that way, but it is now. Now he's got to regain some of that power, and he will over time, and he has been getting stronger. Sort of like healing, Took a lot out of him to infuse that. Better shut up. Helsing, number 1 from Caliber Core, Caliber Comics, Caliber Press, whatever. And I like the sort of vampire head there. I can't even say really a skull. It still got right flesh on it. Number 1, Helsing. Female Helsing at that. Steak. Nice logo. 38 cents. Man, what a deal. Oh, and Hercules. This kind of looked like Moon Knight. It's not, but it looks like him. Actually, like a a Roman, what is it? Praetorian guard. The Dogs of War. Yeah, Hercules, the Heart of Chaos, number 3. Uh, oh, oh, he did a lot of stuff on. I think Olaf, Ophi. I don't know. Cover. Um, he did a lot of. Ron Friends did the artwork inside. Uh, Looks like some Vietnam scene here, like some Viet Cong there. I don't know. Does look like Moon, though, doesn't it? Till you see this up here. A little bit more angular or whatever. Interesting. Oh, but this, I was getting ready to mention this. Great mini-series, limited series. I think this was the last issue. Ran for 4 issues. I think maybe somebody can. Hey, Jason. Didn't Caliber Press put out Oz? Yes. And Kabuki? Yes. I have some of those. 1982, Hercules. Bob Layton did the artwork to this. Yeah, Hercules against Galactus. I've got some Kabuki. I have some Oz. Looks like propaganda. What looks like propaganda? Heap Cats, not Hemp Cats, but Heap Cats, number 5, Martin Wagner's, Antarctic Press publication, mature audience only, 1997 artwork on the cover. Um, partial photo cover, background photo. Jack Adler developed that, as far as I know. Gray toning in comics. I showed Finatra a bunch of some of the Adler collection last night. We talked for about off air for about an hour till he got tired. Heap Cats number 4, another 1997 cover from Antarctic Press. Amorphic like human, animal, stuff going on there. 38 cents. Heap Cats number 9. This reminds me of Cyclops walking away from the X-Men. Remember that great cover by John Byrne? Thanks for coming in, Jason. I know you can't see that well. Mike Kunkles, yeah, rub it in, right? Hero Bear and the Kid, issue 3 from Astonishing Comics. I really like this, sketchy. Inside meet X5, and that's trademarked. But the bunny's up here in the logo. That's pretty cool. Black edging, so it's going to be condition sensitive. Like that about it. You're welcome. I can see what you hold up well enough, but thank you. Yeah. Yeah, and I was showing some great Bronze Age stuff, and then today I had some really good Bronze Age stuff I was showing. I'm just finishing up this box. Hell Shock, Jay Lee, black sensitive cover, number 2, Hell Shock from Jay Lee. He's a Comicsgate contributor to Cyberfrog. That almost has that cross, the way the lighting and stuff. It's really, you get it really close. It really looks like an object that's been photographed. That's pretty neat. Like the blazing icon up there too. Jay Lee's Hell Shock. I liked his run on Namor. And I know, I imagine without saying that Jason likes Jay Lee because he had really a scratchy type, uh, almost like a Bill Sinkovich type, back in the 90s, like he did on Namor and stuff. I'm also drawing and listening. Yeah, comics, great. Yeah. Hell Shock was ahead of its time. Yeah, yeah. I've got books, just a few, just a few. Hell Shock #3. Now this is nice Jay Lee cover. I guess it's Jay Lee. I mean, it looks like based on a photograph. Oh yeah, semi nudity. I wish she'd remove that arm so I could a little bit more, but lighting on her hair on the back of her head there. It's kind of nice. Don't see much stuff like this in comics, really. But I mean, it's effective. I want to know what's going through that woman's head, really. Once I get done looking at her body, that is weird. Only comic people would say that. Maybe I'm the only guy. Now I remember this is iconic when it come out. Almost looks like a cosplay type thing. Maybe it is. Maybe it is partial manipulated. And did they have Photoshop back then? Jay Lee, Hellshot, or is it just Jay Lee? And colorist. That's what Image brought was coloring lighting effects. Early digital lighting effects that I remember. It really stood out to me. 90s Jay Lee was peak. Namor and Wildcats trilogy was amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he really did some pretty, compelling drawings in Namor, the villains and stuff. I mean, it's pretty dope. Hellhounds. And then this Nazi-like character is in the way. Pan cops? I don't know. Hellhounds. Manga. Okay. Part of their manga stuff. This doesn't look like manga at all. This is a Johnson cover from 93 SL Studio Prometheus. I don't know. But from Dark Horse. This looks like Greg Levitz, or the world what was it? The Nazi like character they had in his campaign, Blitzkrieg, or I don't know, the guy that was shooting up the place. Similar. And I think I reached where we left off today. New Wave. God, I just need to go get another box, man. I'm not ready to stop. I tell you what, I've had fun. And not my normal time of streaming, but hey, mm, you know, I might stream some more. I got a lot to do though. Get this out of the way. This has been a hoot and a holler. And get a different crowd at different times. And I won't be able to stream like this much longer. I think I start to work in like 11 days, 10 days. That's when my contract now. I might start a little earlier than that. In fact, that's one thing I got to do when I get off here. I've got to complete my application, which isn't like an application. It's like an acceptance, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. But yeah, I'll be working nights. Um, Probably from like starting out at 9 to about 3. Well, not quite that late. Maybe midnight or 1 o'clock. But then starting out, but then usually during the year it'll be like from like 6 to about 3 in the morning. So that'll preclude me from going on Topic List, Lorenzo's show. I'll still co-host with Apex at midnight on Saturdays, early Sunday. Still be able to do my 4 o'clock shadow. Might have to cut it down from 2 hours to 1 or an hour and a half. We'll see. Do what I can do when I can do it. Yeah, you get your work done, man. Streaming gets addictive. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it, and this was a great box. I really like this. This had a little mixture of everything, you know, love it. Um, what are you doing for work? Oh, I don't have a shirt on right now. This is just a blue shirt, but I spray for mosquitoes, kill mosquitoes around here. get to take out my 50 cal and, blast those little bastards out of the sky. No, no, I mean, yeah, that's what I do. I drive a truck at night, the fogger. And people say that doesn't work. It just pushes them in the yard. Look, if you see, it's kind of like, oh, what's the it's like if you see it's like, if you see a gas truck putting gas at your gas station in their underground tanks, drive by, go somewhere else. Have you ever thought about that? When they're putting gas in, they're stirring up the settlement on the bottom of those tanks that they're putting that gas in, and that's all getting in your engine when you gas up. So I never gas up if they're getting gas unless I'm just about to run out of gas. I try not to get that way. And oh, okay, that was the parallel, but what was the main thing? Uh oh, spraying for mosquitoes. Go in the house for 2 hours, they'll be dead. Okay, it acts on their nervous system, takes about 2 hours to kill them. First, they have to land on it, but they get real aggressive and biting everything afterwards. Yeah, so that's why people complain. But it really does work. I've killed now. I had a grate under the house. I mean, over the eave, on the outside of the house, and the squirrels are kind of, their teeth. They keep growing like a beaver's. So they have to gnaw on things. I've got plastic chairs out there they've gnawed on, and probably even the plastic trash can, stuff like that. They have to gnaw on things and keep wearing their teeth down, or they'll grow too long and they can't chew, and they'll starve to death. Um, so they chewed on that grate, and wasp got up in there, and I killed a dozen of them, backed up my truck and saturated. They come falling out, all a dozen of them. Uh, and it'll bring cicadas out of the tree too. Now we cut that with mineral spirits to make it sticky. When it like gets on the leaves, grass, whatever, mosquito lands on that, it will attack their nervous system and kill them. Now a cicada is so big it will drive them out of the tree. They only come out of the tree every 13 years, but they come out early. Like maybe that night they'll come out of the tree, out of the bark of the tree. That's wild how that penetrates. But it brings them out, but their wings don't develop, and they'll die in about 3 days. They're large like a locust, and it attacks their nervous system and their ability to fly right. I mean, they're slowly dying. Um, and they get darker and darker in color and then eventually die. They lose their color after they die. But I've went out the back door here and opened the door, and they'll go zzz, and hit me right in the chest, because they see that movement and they react to it and try and fly right, and they can't do it. So it'll kill. You get it concentrated enough, it'll you know kill those big cicadas. You worried about the poison or the effects on you? Well, like I say, it's cut. I've sprayed when the hurricane came in Florida. I've sprayed some Melathon, and I said, I know what that is because I used to have my dad used to use a little bit of it when I was a kid down at the farm. Once you smell Melathon, you know what it smells like. It stinks. Um, and there's some stronger things that they can use too, but it is strong enough chemical that if you don't bleed your tanks out, and rinse them out, whatever, I don't know how they exactly get it all out, but it'll eat the plastic lines up. So they had to drain the tanks every night, when we came in from spraying after that hurricane down around Gainesville, about an hour and a half out, you know, um, or an hour, you know, was the furthest down south of there that I sprayed, but all around there, they at first was doing daytime aerial spraying. That made national news because the beekeepers didn't like that. They were like, "You're killing our bees." I don't know if it would or not, but yeah, beekeepers are real touchy, and I don't blame them. Um, we have to avoid certain areas that are, we have beekeeper zones that it's like, whoops, can't, shut your sprayer off when you drive by here. Um, and they'll just have to live with the mosquitoes. Ha, trade off. Um, poison is killing your nervous system too, Rex. Well, I don't know. Or, kills the bees. It kills the squirrels. Oh no, no, it won't kill no squirrel. if I put them in an acrylic box with no breathe hose and I pumped in a lot of that stuff and kept continuously pumping it, yeah, it'd kill them. But it'd be hours maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's cut. It's, regulated by the EPA, but I don't have a lot of faith in the EPA. Yeah, it will. Okay. It kills me. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not good for you. And that Melathon, you can't double spray that. We went, like, if you had a Cove or a Cossack, you'd drive to the end and then drive back out, and spray on the way out instead of spraying your way in and spraying your way out. You don't want to drive through that. The smell fills the cab anyway. And you got some where you have to loop. And I had a navigator, and that's all he did was navigate. This was a guy, who was a big guy. He was 360 pounds. And he said he lost 100 pounds from the year before. And all he did was navigate on his phone, and all I did was drive. I got to drive like a maximum of 21 miles an hour. That was speeding for me, in Florida. That was cool. I kept it at about 90, 20, because once you get over 21, it shuts off. And I don't want to do that. So, I mean, it doesn't shut the engine off, but it quits spraying, and that's a hassle. So, kind of kept it. And when you're going up and down and all around, you learn to be consistent. It takes a little skill to do it. I've got everything memorized pretty much where I go. Um, Take care, Devil Flyer. Yeah, I see you, citizen. It's accumulating. Yes, I know. It's part of what's giving us all cancer. Yes, probably so. Don't hate me for it, though. In between. Yeah, okay. Um, yeah, anyway, it is what it is. It's a living. This will be my 10th year spraying for them. So pretty cool stuff, you know. I mean, it's a driving job. It's not back breaking work, it's ass breaking work. Kind of like sitting and streaming for a long time. I got a little pillow under me now. I need to do something about it. We're, a little bit better than this. We're all slaves to the thing we hate. Well, I was till I got a divorce. Oh, but well, I mean, it's interesting work, but it will take away, I'll have to do daytime or late night streaming. So, if Vic or somebody like that or Jason's, streaming extremely late, although he didn't, you know, 3, 4 in the morning, you know, but I'd hop on, sure. And I'm going to miss Topicless. Hope they miss me. I'll probably come back in the fall and they'll go, Rex, who? Devil Flyer, what? We don't know you. You're not part of our crew. I hope not. And same thing, do Lorenzo's, but that's not such a big thing. Um, Hope he drops a link though from time to time. I didn't do Lorenzo's because I had to rest and get some things done around here. I mean, I rear-ended that guy, and it was the comic shop owner, one of the partners. Didn't realize it. Um, and came back the next day because I've been down there the last 3 days getting content, checking out what they've got. Um, yeah, and so I've got to go to the insurance thing tomorrow, check on that, report that, and also I ain't got the stuff moved in here. Still got to clean if I can, but it's been storming here. It's going to be muggy. I saw a mosquito today, so that's good for work. Uh, got to complete my application once I get off here. Um, you know, turned in my thank you thing, but I got to finalize some stuff. Didn't have to go through the hassle of going through like a virtual driving test and an application. With that, you have to fill out an application new every year. But they're pest control. They're like they kill termites, maybe even rodents, things like that. We're the only mosquito spraying thing that they own. These people that bought us out like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, uh, they went out in Las Vegas. And I mean, really, go out to Vegas to have a meeting? Why not? So my boss went out there and yeah, I mean, Conway was cool. I mean, I've been very fortunate. And I got like an 85-cent raise if I figured it up right. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. For 1 year. That's the largest jump I've gotten in a race since I've worked for them. But this will be a decade. My 10th year. I've not worked for anybody longer, so I do enjoy it. Thanks, guys, for leaving the likes. Got 12 likes. But yeah, I've lived an interesting life. I mean, I always hung around an older crowd in college. Ex Hell's Angel, ex mercenary, that I killed people for a living for pay. Um, he's sadly dead now. Maybe I was a good influence on him. I remember one time I come in, I was telling this to Sinatra last night. We were sitting there and the guy was there and he always carried a two-shot Derringer with him. Never went anywhere without it. He at least had that little thing to whip out on somebody and shoot somebody in the face. Gosh, he probably weighed 400 pounds. I was a big dude. I don't know, 350. He was big. Um, Ex Hell's Angels, they always fighting with the outlaws. He told me a story about, I think it was in St. Louis. This outlaw was drunk or high or both. I don't know. Went in, went riding right up into their crib, right into their clubhouse, and into it was a Hell's Angel did that to an outlaws. And he created havoc and whatnot and everything. They were saying, man, what you did was pretty cool, but you're just not an outlaw. Boom. Shot him dead. They got their own rituals. Like when they bury somebody, they all come together. They like drink beer and then they piss on the grave to honor the guy. So, it's pretty wild. But he was a mercenary. I know down in Chile. I didn't ask him a lot about that, but he told me like, you get double-edged knife. I'll tell you how, Rex. You sneak up on the sentry, the guard there, and you put that and you do that to his ball sack, or he didn't put it that way, but in between his legs. Well, your natural inclination is to clench your legs. Like what was that? And then you turn that knife to both blades and you cut both of those main arteries, and they won't have time to scream. They'll bleed out right there in 2 seconds. And that's, just some knowledge he gave me, some of stuff that he's done or seen done or whatever. Yeah, I hung around with an older crowd. He was probably in his 40s, early 40s then, and I was in my early 20s. And LZ, who's still living, Charles, who is not, who's the Taekwondo master or whatever, a black belt, multiple black belt, whatever. He was always putting his foot up in my face, stopping at about that much between your nose, like kind of good practice for him. Let him know, like I'm cool. Kind of leaving your genitals, exposed there, but I guess you got to know what to do. But Elsie told me a funny story. I think I've told it, so I won't tell it again. But I do stories on request. I've lived long enough to live an interesting life, and I feel like I've lived a pretty boring life compared to a lot of people. But I've met interesting people and known people that's done interesting things. I mean, I know Artie used to sell, what he said about Jimi Hendrix. He used to sell him speed. He said, "Now that's a guy that really liked his speed." Yeah, it eventually killed him. But he knew Jimi Hendrix. He bumped into Anthony Quinn, the actor, and said he was an asshole. Kind of ran around with the New York crowd, like not Andy Warhol, but he was like, oh yeah, he was just cleaning his screen print, you know. Well, no artist. He didn't think Andy Warhol was a good artist. Hey, Robert Shaw, Robert Marshall. Dang, tell so. Yeah, I can tell some of my history, but it might get me in trouble. I'm not that infamous, but yeah, I got some stories. And maybe one of these times we'll have some people on and we'll just chat about different stuff. I don't know. I like to BS about things, you know, as much as anybody. Like to hear, I like to listen. I try and listen. I'm kind of a talker, but with age, you kind of curtail that too. So yeah, Robert, just finishing up a box, streaming when I don't usually stream. Good to see you in here, bro. He graduated with me, so that's pretty cool. Um, Fight Senior's 84. Yeah, Billy Tucci's age. Billy Tucci is the artist of She, which I know you don't know, Robert. Robert doesn't know. What are you doing nowadays, Robert? I should know. Married for a very long time to Carrie Marshall. Take my last name. Uh, yeah, I mean, my annuals burned up in that fire, or at least half of them did, and the other half were stolen. So I mean, there's a lot of, I would give a mint to get all my school, and especially the last ones, but, in the high school years, back just so I could relive some of the memories, and see the pictures. I guess that's what the reunions are for. But I blathered on long enough. I probably put on some Doors, got their greatest hits, although it doesn't say greatest hits. Uh, Future Starts Here, the Essential Doors hits. Got 20 of their biggest. I don't know what the running time is on this, but it's pretty long. But glad to get this. I think I probably already had something like this, but $9, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. Play some Doors. So anyway, thanks for dropping in. Thanks for the likes. Hit that like button if you would. It helps me. I've been driving a forklift for 25 years. How long you been married to Carrie? About that long? Forklift's pretty cool. I mean, I've known people that's done that. I know out at the printing factor, Kruger, Renier, World Color, Quiver before it shut down. Uh, there was a lot of forklift drivers out on the, what would you call it, out on the floor that you had to avoid getting hit by. They were pretty good though. But yeah, with civility, I hope things improve for you, brother. Uh, let me know if there's anything I can do. Uh, but thanks for coming in here. I guess I could talk for a few more minutes and hit 2 hours. I mean, I'm so close, right? What should we talk about? It's due time. In due time. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, man. I mean, you keep chipping away at everything. I lived at a homeless shelter, for a year and a half. It was my choice, but it was a learning curve. Tell me about when you were homeless. Well, I wasn't homeless. I had an apartment, but I always stayed there at the homeless shelter. I was lucky. It was kind of a waste, really. I was paying rent. I was never there. I was always at the homeless shelter working. And if you ever live at work, that ain't good. You need to get away from work. But there was so much going on. I devoted all my time to it. It probably would have been a lot easier on me, but there probably would have been a lot more shenanigans going on. I was actually fired from that because I fell for a line. My grandfather died. Maybe he did, and they were partially drunk. I shouldn't have let them in. And they said, "Yeah, we'll go right up and went to bed." Hell no, they didn't. They started a fight, and the other guy had the colostomy bag, so he took the colostomy bag and threw it at her. So there's crap all over the walls. And that's what I walked into. Lost my job over that. Broke the mission rules by letting them in because they've been drinking. Pity parter, pity party. You know, I fell for it. Um, what was it in your apartment? I had an apartment but I stayed, out of town at the homeless shelter. I didn't want to commute for one thing, but it's only 45-minute drive. But yeah, man, took off that colostomy bag, made a big thing. There was a bunch of people smoking weed up there. Couldn't have that, because we got families up there with children and other stuff, and that's just what you sign off for. Pity poo party. Yeah, yeah. I got out of hand, and I got fired, but I got rehired at the other mission. 4 weeks later. 4 months later. How much are rents around you? Oh man, I don't know. I fortunately now own my house, and have paid for, but um, rent's pretty reasonable. I think the job market's pretty good around here. Um, it's the humidity and mosquitoes people don't like, and some people get used to it and some people don't. But now we don't have any homeless thing here. The mission outreach is still in Paragould. The other one down, I think in well, it wasn't Ravenden. It's up from there. It burned while I was still working there. I was coming back one time at 1:30 at night, and I hit and killed this 7-point deer. Well, I didn't 7-point, yeah, buck. It spun the whole car around, and it had deep slope ditches. It was like in Paragould, right there by the airport. They've got deep ditches there. So I did a Hollywood, spin around, just like one. But wow, man! Fortunately, 1:30 at night, it wasn't. I had to take a resident from our mission up to their mission and come back. I was tired. This deer just boom, first hit my light, spun around, and its hip hit my door and caved the door in, and it was messed up. It was messed up. The police came out and shot once at it. It bolted and it hit it in the rump, didn't kill it. Then they shot it again, killed it, and then they cut its throat. And I couldn't strap it and get the meat or anything. I dress it out. Hell no. Messed my car up. Nicest car. It was a probe, you know. Rent is so bad right now in Washington. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's only going to get worse, brother. Lots of homeless and crime around here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's there's better places to live, brother, and your dollar will stretch a lot further. If like Tank Ferret's moving from LA, which is you know, you like what's going on out there, fine. But opportunities, but hell, you never know out there. Some crazy bastard just come up and you know, and but he's moving to Illinois. But there's I mean, you see this on the home network on TV. Mom had cable and stuff, and she got the whole complete package to keep her busy while she was there. Now she gets that over at the assisted living over here. Um, but she, I mean, it'll show people like in LA what they get, which is like, oh, it's so roomy. It's not even a shotgun house. It's a cracker box built in the 20s, and it needs renovation. And they're saying, oh, it's great. And when they could go to Texas, spend the same amount and get an acre or two plus a house. It makes no sense. There are better states to live in. I know Washington is beautiful, but, and I know it's hard to move, but, you're homeless there. You might might as well thumb it and be homeless somewhere else and find a better place that's got a good economy going and, you know, better living, better opportunity. I know it's tough. And there are, if they're good, homeless shelters that'll help you find, I mean, like this woman that she trained had two young boys. One may be about 8. He might have been about 6. That another one younger than that, 4 or something in a homeless shelter. But she went to a temp place, and they trained her and paid her while she was training. Took about a month, and then they guaranteed her a job. She got enough money to start renting and get out of there. Because it was a better environment for the kids to be out of there. She got motivated. She stayed there a few months, sure, but I mean, once she got motivated and got on that track, but I mean, I'm saying the homeless shelter should kind of point you to some of these temp places that will train you and give you a job, at least to get a grub stake to move somewhere else, you know, is my advice. California started Envision here in Colorado. Invasion. Okay. Colorado started the invasion here in Colorado. Oh, not just there, but I mean, they've been coming to Texas. Nerdrotic, the guy that on YouTube that does Neurotic. the 12 o'clock nooner and all that on pop culture stuff. He moved to Texas from San Francisco, and he had a comic shop there and grew up there and liked the scene around there. But I mean, he doesn't like the mask mandates and the shutdown and all that. They've been coming to here for decades. Yeah, and also to Seattle. And Seattle's, if it's up to certain people, they want the whole world, the whole United States to be like Seattle. And hell no, vote those suckers out because they have to have like, volunteer parents or whatever and go check for needles and other stuff, syringes. And when I lived downtown on Main Street, I'd find syringes, and stuff like that outside my apartment, which, can't walk barefoot around there. I mean, if you do, you're stupid. But I mean, tattoo places, whatever. I mean, they came here and we're a dry county, believe it or not, but the clubs have all liquor. I mean, they've got so many clubs here. That's how they get around it. Washington go to red to blue, but at least you don't go in, like to a convenience store to get gas or a snack or something. And they got bars on the window or some big thick plexiglass. That really makes cities look scruddy. When they have to take those precautions. They came here and made Washington go from red to blue. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's what's going to happen with the Muslims in France because their birth rate's higher. I predict the Eiffel Tower is going to be tore down if they don't change their policy because they'll get so many Muslims in there breeding so much. I hate to put it bluntly like that, but having children so much that they're going to tear all that stuff down. They're going to get the vote, get in charge, and French will be pushed out of their own country. Same thing in the UK. You can't have these no-go zones. That's country within a country. With Sharia law, no, you messed up. Same thing with the illegals here. I feel sorry for the young people. Some of the young, unexperienced hire on jobs are going to be taken by illegals. I've watched everything be bastardized. They're constantly coming after me, driving me into being homeless for speaking out. And it could be, man. Yeah. I mean, they want you to shut up, be quiet, don't say anything. Thing is not to get bitter, about things. And I know it's a struggle. Daily life's a struggle. You get to where I'm at, you sitting like Flint, and I'm not rich by any means. Now, if I sold everything, I'd have, a grub stake, but, you know, and one day I'll make it, you know. Uh, I don't feel guilty about putting my money while they're homeless out there. Look, man, the homeless you'll always have with you. And that doesn't mean I'm not one of those to say I've done my bit for God and country. I still, uh, you know, would go into prison ministry or go into working the homeless again. It's you're not going to get rich. Shoot, I was making like $5 an hour, $6 an hour. You know, yeah, you can't make it on that. But at least they provided me a thing. But like I say, fortunately, my parents owned the apartments there at that time. I don't know. They might not have owned it at that time. They might have already sold it. But so my parents might have a little bit of money, mostly in land and stuff, but not, you know, not ready cash or anything. My mother passes away and I get some land and I sell it, I might have some cash. But I mean, look, man, you just got to live your dream and do what you will find interesting. And if you don't, do the next best thing, whatever you can do. And, I found this driving job. It's seasonal around here, down Texas or Florida. They spray year long. But I really don't want to spray all year long. But 6 or 7 months out of the year don't pay the bills either. They're constantly been coming after me, driving me into being homeless for speaking out. Okay, I read that already. Better to have the land. Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, maybe Bill Gates will buy it. He's the biggest owner of farmland right now. But yeah, and I'm not going to count my chickens before I get the eggs. So, you know, I would rather have my mother around, you know. But to be 86, she's still getting around pretty good. But who knows in a decade or a year or two or tomorrow? We're not promised tomorrow. Welcome to the New World Order. Man, the New World Order has been pushed on us before we were even born. Pyramid scheme and all kinds of stuff. Let me put my tin hat on. But I mean, uh, yeah. I told this story, but I heard a worker over there. Hey, man, there's pretty lots of work in Jonesboro and all. Like, yeah, but do you want to work all your life? Do you want to work for the man? Do you want to retire and then be dead in 3 to 6 months? I mean, when does enjoying life come in? I've accepted some hard jobs, really. I mean, at the printing factory, I worked 12 and a half hours days. Now, I know people have worked more than that. And I worked more just a few years ago for this other guy, carekeeping him. I mean, have you ever had somebody give you, I don't want to get graphic, but hand you roll of toilet paper and say, here, wipe my ass? I tore some off, gave it to him, and said, you wipe your own ass. Or something going to change. You're not paying me that much. $10 an hour. And I was working 126 hours a week. I can't do that anymore, brother. Too old. Make good money there for 4 months, but about 1,000 a week, or more. But I'm I'm too old to be working that many hours, and I don't want to work that many hours. But I did while I was there. He was dead within 6 months. Found him dead. Found my neighbor dead. I found 2 bodies dead in my lifetime. One on Easter and one on Labor Day weekend. So don't come over my house on the holidays. Just saying. Welcome to the New World Order. Yeah, basically. Working your whole life to die poor. Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, you ought to get some, I only got one trip. Enjoy the trip. I mean, that doesn't mean be belligerent about it. Make good choices. It better your life. Um, um, we are, in my estimation, in World War III already. Just saying. I don't want to get all morose, but and they're talking about food shortages. They're talking about, uh, cutting back food production, the farmers, and they're really hitting it I mean, beef and other stuff's just going to keep going up and up and up. You think it's hard to make a living now and get by now? I mean, if we hit hyperinflation, yeah, soup line, soup lines coming back, shanty houses and stuff. You need to be learning how to live off the land. And, I know that's rough, but I've been arming up. I got me a truck instead of a car. I never had a truck in my lifetime, but I want to be able to load up stuff and bug out. Got sleeping bags, got a machete, got a survival knife that's got a compass in it, and then like your line to fish with the hook and stuff. Got fishing gear too, although I need new line really. Um, and I haven't done it in so long. I don't know if I remember how catch a fish. I'd rather have some dynamite, throw it in there, they all come to the surface. You gather them up, eat them. Just saying. But anyway, I could go on all night. I love it. Like Jason says, it can be addictive. Whatever your drug of choice. But I'm going to get off here. It was great talking with you, Civility, and I will be praying for you. I am a man of faith. I look, man. I think everybody should be, and to a certain degree, should be a person of faith. It takes faith to get up every day. It's like breathing. You know, you don't you don't think about it. If you're not living by prayer every day and asking for God's help, you know, um, then you are in darkness. And I'm not, that doesn't condemn you, but it certainly doesn't help your situation. It It does like if I'd said some harsh words to this guy as I was showing him the other, he wouldn't have hired me. You know, I didn't have any, but I could have been braggadocious like that. And then when I put in an application needing a job down the line, he could have said, "No, hell no, he's too difficult to work with." You know, um, it doesn't cost that. I mean, your name says it all. Civility, to be civil. It didn't cost you anything to be civil. Anybody can be shithead and be gruff and woe is me and play the victim, but that don't help you in the long run. Oh, thanks, man. I need all the prayers. Everybody needs to be. Look, man. To a certain degree, yeah, we need to look out for each other, but also listen to this. If you clean up your backyard and I clean up my backyard, and everybody down the street and around the world cleans their own backyard, meaning their own life, you know, we'll have a clean community. Think about that one. If you'll just do what your sphere of influence is now, you know, because we're all influencers on some level, you know, um, you know, and your sphere of influence may seem small now, but believe me, it's always larger than you think. I went back a week after being fired and had a woman thank me for sharing with her, you know, and it turned her life around. And I didn't know that. If I had not went back that week to meet the people that were still living there and to visit with them on a Sunday when I had time, I could have just blew it off and said I'm never going back there again. I would have never knew what an impact I made on that person's life. You never know what impact and example you're setting for people. You may never know this side of eternity, how you're influencing people, what your words can do, how they can be encouraging or how they can be discouraging. I mean, if you grow up and somebody's saying, "Ah, you're just like your dad, you'll never amount to anything, you'll be an alcoholic just like him," you probably will be. They're saying curses over your life, but it's much better like the Jewish community that has hardly any, you know, oh, oh, you got a B in science. Well, that teacher just doesn't know how to treat how to how to teach such a genius as you. That's what they tell their children. Now you can say, well, that's disingenuous and a lie, but it's positive, you know. Well, yeah, I can do it if I apply myself a little bit more. It's better than speaking words of death over them, you know. Life and death in the tongue. I'd much rather hear encouragement, like you saying you're going to pray for me, than Rex, you're a shithead. I don't want to listen to you. They're a bunch of crap. Jesus, your Bible told, and I don't want to hear that. I mean, it's not good for my soul. It's not good for your soul to say it. And when we say negative things like that, really we're hurting ourselves more than anybody. Here's an example. Then I'll close on this because I'll never close. Um, the manager at the homeless shelter, um, she had some abuse from her father, and she held that in for years till he was older and in less health. And then they got back together and they reconciled and it was good. And she said, I came to the realization that I was only hurting myself. He went on with his life. No matter what wrong he did to me, I was still being the victim. I was still letting his past sins against me or past activities that I didn't measure up to my standard affect my life. And he was going on with his life and it wasn't affecting him. I took it personal. That's what I said. Man, that's been one of the biggest life lessons I've learned. It's not let things affect me and take things personal because that can be devastating. Oh, you don't like me? Okay. I mean, do what you can, then brush it off and go on. You got to get a little thin skin. I mean, thicker skin, or you'll, go around all the time. Rex, you're an old boomer. Yeah. Nah, he's making fun of me. And once I've lost civility, I've lost my audience. There's another person in here lurking, listening. And I appreciate everybody that came in. Left the 13 likes, man. It's went up 3. Hey, maybe if I stream on one of these days, I'm going to do a marathon stream. Maybe it'll be pretty soon because pretty soon I won't be able to do marathon stream unless it's early in the morning. I'm not an early person, believe me. Once I get home from work, yeah, lurky. Only the shadow knows. I like getting to talk. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's venting, problems. I mean, we're all, I don't want to say like Hillary, we're all part of a community. It takes a community to raise a child. That's bullshit, you know. But yeah, we're all part of a greater community, and they want us to be globalists and be part of a new world order. And you know what? I'll just put these up and I'll talk. So hell with it. I got to put these up anyway. But yeah, I mean, it was a learning thing for me, just like everything in life, fell forward, There was a book called Fell Forward, I think. If you fall down, get back up, you know. You fall down the 20th time, get back up the 21st time. I mean, just keep going. I mean, roll over and die is easy. Living's hard. And I know other people's had it, I've had it better than some people, especially some of those prisoners. You know, they get up to the podium and they say, my mom and dad, they smoke crack. That's all I had to know about that young black guy. What his child, I mean, crack 'em, you know, this crack pack in CG. I'm like, well, they want that. I mean, it may be kind of funny, but there's a lot of people on crack, they can't get off of it. I mean, I know my own pastor, my own ex-pastor's wife, I mean, not wife, but a daughter who could have been a model and was a hairdresser, had great clientele, making good money. She got with this guy, had a child by him out of wedlock, and got down to 98 pounds with all rotted teeth because of crack. She didn't make a very good choice. She had everything going for her, and then just influenced by the wrong thing, gave into temptation, and it ruined her health, ruined her life. I mean, it's not over till it's over. She can turn it around, but it's you smoke crack like that, you're gonna lose weight, you're gonna lose your health. It's gonna affect you the rest of your life. Interesting hearing some of your stories tonight. Cool. That must have been really embarrassed the pastor. Yeah, yeah, I don't really want to talk about it publicly. I mean, I think it was a judgment in one way. And it wasn't him, I mean, he went from having a good job, good salary, not the best. I mean, and he was a drug dealer. He was an ex-drug dealer. Like 20 years prior to me meeting him, he was the number one drug dealer in Paragould. His mom died. A couple people come knocking on his door, witnessed to him. He turned his life over to the Lord, turned his life, got a nice wife, had 3 daughters, lovely daughters, smart. But he went to had one of the other guys in the church talking him into going trucking, driving. Not even with him as a partner, just driving. You earn more money. Yeah, but you're gone from your family. That's when things started to disintegrate. So then we had to get a new leadership in. I knew who should be in there, but they wouldn't listen to me. And so they wound up grabbing God's money and property and everything and selling it. Well, their daughters have had pregnancies into drugs, all kinds of stuff fell on them like a locust plague. You don't do that because they had a vibrant. They were helping a lot of people. Homeless shelter was only like 8 blocks away. It was like on the sidewalk ministry. People come off the sidewalk. Same thing with my other church down, over here when we were down off Union and Main Street. And I lived on Main Street. I was like a block away. I love that. Just walk to church. And we'd have people come in inebriated. You could smell it on. I got a good sniffer. More with a big one too. Cha cha cha. That must have really embarrassed the pastor. Yep, maybe he never stopped dealing. No, he did. He did. He stopped dealing. He did. Um, but I mean, he just got his eye on the world, and said, "Okay, I can make more money at this." And then and his wife helped talk him into it. And it's like she regretted it after about a month. She was like, "He's never home." Yeah, you had a good thing going, didn't you? And then other people took control of the church and then just ran it into the ground. When I counting the kids, they had 13 people when I left. And it could have been in a thriving church had they, hired this one guy that I recommended. They had guys up there that said every bone for Jesus was broke for you on the cross. Well, that contradicts scripture. This guy's freshly out of jail or prison, kind of zealous for the Lord. Fine. But does he know scripture? Because if his bones were broke, he wasn't son of God. Scripture will tell you that. He should have known that much. There was a couple other discrepancies. But I said, why are we listening to this guy at 6 months? This was the guy trying to take control. Really, he wanted to be pastor, and he did become pastor till there wasn't anybody and they had to pay the bills. So they sold that, and all their families the curses from hell coming down on them for doing that. You don't mess with God's stuff. Just saying. No, I know I'm preaching here, and yes, I've preached. Maybe I can upload some of my sermons. I don't think we want to see that, but on another channel, maybe. Some people don't like to mix, but I knew God was preparing me I was there for 6 years. Exactly. I went in on my birthday and I left on my birthday. You get synchronicity like that. It's planned. God shows you things. Look for synchronicities in life, not coincidences. No, I don't believe in luck. It's blessings. His blessings are cursings. I wish you luck, brother. I don't put a dime in my pocket or a blessing on my head. Luck? Shh. Might or might not happen. That's like saying maybe. I believe, or what is it? There's commercial runs. It sounds like to me like he was one of those pastors who used the church as a business. No, 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 no. I don't want you to get it wrong. No, no. It was just no. He loved God and stuff. But he just didn't use his discernment. You know. But there's a lot of people out there. I know one pastor when he would go. I knew this guy. He was trying to kill his wife. She was a good friend of mine. After she divorced him, I almost married her. Then she got cancer. But he'd rather kill her than ruin his reputation. You're not going to divorce me. She rented a place and he moved in the place above her and was there a month before she found out and they evicted him. He was obsessed. Dunderhead stupid, but still messing with the family. Still messing with the family. Sounds like to me like business. Let's see. Why Not Rex, another channel. These degenerates need some God in their lives. Yeah. Cancer from the pancreas. Or no, pesticides. No. I think you're messing with me. No, she had a rare form of cancer. Had so much going on in her life. She ignored the warning signs. She was a beautician. It started in her tear duct and went down the optic nerve and got within a quarter of an inch of her brain. And they had to remove the eye. So she lost her left eye to cancer. It went to her colon and then it went to her lymph nodes. And after that, I don't know, because she went to live with her family over Tennessee. While she's missing an eye and taking treatments and all that, she won a barrel racing uh, to earn some money. She won the grand prize of like $800, I think it was, or something. Her and her barrel racing with one eye. And when you lose one eye, you lose your depth perception. She was tenacious. I mean, tenacious. I mean, rock hard calves. Would walk on the treadmill for like 45 minutes an hour every day. I mean, good shape. And if she hadn't been in good shape, because they hit her with maximum, I mean, right here, they wound up pulling seven of her teeth. They looked normal, but they were dead at the root. Had seven teeth pulled because they hit her with maximum radiation one day and maximum chemotherapy the next for like 7 weeks, and then wait a little bit of time, and then they do it all again. And her rock hard muscles, become like jelly. Get winded, out of breath, no energy, and yet she stormed through it. Just they don't make them like her anymore. She was older than me. I don't know what it is with me and older women. My two, oh, cancer from the eyeliner. I don't know about that. She also did tattooing. I didn't even know that was a thing. But like, there's this, woman that's on the nightly news, been on there for like, I don't know, 20 years, 25 years. I don't know. Still looks good. But now she has her tattooed eyeliner on her lids. And she was the woman who did it for her. Most tattoo places are not up to code. If you went into, they don't clean their instruments, they don't follow the law. Most tattoo places are not top notch. If you're gonna go get a tattoo, get a clean one. You know, I don't say get a tattoo at all. But if she did that so she wouldn't have to put that on every day. Nobody'd know. But how's that gonna look when you're older? I don't know. But I mean, she married a millionaire. Now they got divorced because he was abusive. But you know, uh, maybe I think she's remarried now with another younger child. He's probably under 10 now. Last time I saw her with her child at the post office, he was like smaller. But it's been a year or two since that happened. Um, Yeah, I don't know if she got a settlement or not, but working at that place for so many, and being a local celebrity, she probably has a pretty good income. Socked away a few. Right, you get kids and a home, everything costs you something, you know. I mean, I was paying, even though I had, I was earning, 55,000 a year, 50,000 a year, when I worked at the printing company. Worked there for 3.5 years, almost about 3 years and 3 months, 3.5 months. I was paying on three kids. I adopted her other two. I was paying on three kids. Most of it was going out the door to raise them. That's what happens when you have family and you're legally obligated. You can't put that money in your pocket. And I was barely surviving, living in an old trailer out out of town for a couple years. So I can't say I've lived in Jonesboro all my life because I kind of lived there, but I lived there for a couple years and for like a year and a half over there in Paragould, really. I mean, I didn't come into Jonesboro much, but I basically lived in Jonesboro and around this surrounding area. God sends some people down the road, and some He sends out across the world somewhere. But I mean, back in the day, we sent missionaries out to like Australia, Africa, and stuff, and now we've got people coming to America to evangelize us. That's just the truth. I've met a few of them. Hey, good stuff. How's that editing coming, brother? Not that I'm rushing you. I'm just opener first would be nice. Just an opener, and then you'll have to show me how to get it up on every show. I do things differently around here. I go through YouTube and not really StreamYard. But Rozzy Lee told me a good way to do a search on Google and do it. Might work for me. Then I can have guests on. Yeah, streaming at a different time. I'm just putting these books up, rapping about life and stuff. Getting ready to close it down. But we were talking about homeless and World War III, and you know, I'd like to have me a house like that couple. I think in Kansas, might have been Kentucky, but I think it was Kansas. They bought a round silo house, multi-million-dollar underground in the early 70s. They had a nuclear silo there, and they decommissioned it, and they got that and the acreage, the property for $40,000. And I mean, drive in, you could drive in. He had a room where big old tractor driving in and other stuff. Had all the space in the world. Beautiful underground house. Safe too. Even from nuclear attack for $40,000 plus acreage. Probably remote. That's the type of house I want. Where even the US government would have trouble getting into it. Yep, that's what I'm working on. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, DM me some prices on that good stuff. I don't want to be, $2,000. Kill stream. I'm just joking with you. But I am, I got to get off here and pay Doc, his money. Try to. And yeah, that was a nice one, man, with George Perez, Thor. He didn't even do the whole cover. That's pretty wild. That's probably Rune there behind what was her name? Not Mystic. It was I can't remember. I hate to say that, but yeah, pray for George Perez, pancreatic cancer. It's not. Hey, Tank's in here. My gosh, you hang around like some dirty stink on a dog, and maybe somebody comes sniff it. I don't know. Was that undue pressure? Yeah, yeah, Tank. Just real quick, man. You think we can get an opener? I mean, not an opener. You think we could get my mail up in the next couple of weeks? Just a mail up? I mean, I don't have all the artwork in from hockey or that Vic's done for me. He's done about 13, 14 pieces for me, but you don't have to tell me here, but that's what I'm thinking. Since I got you here and I got your ear real quick, if I could just get the mail up because it doesn't look like we're going to have a for Friends Fest down Florida. So, I'll still be shooting for that, but that gives me more time. So I don't necessarily have to get my campaign up, but I'd like to get that mail up. You know how important that is. Thank you. I hope we can just get that, with what we got up or something. Use the text from the black and white. I'll be shutting that down. I don't want to shut it down until I get the new one up. I want to keep something active CG guy. Oh yeah. And good stuff. Thanks for doing that editing for me. That'll help the channel. I think I'm doing pretty well. I think I lost a subscriber today. But they mess with the analytics too. I get off here and it says you had 27. So then when I click on it, it's saying 22 or something like that. I'm like, what the hell? Eventually, by the end of the day, it'll climb up to that. And I've been averaging about 30, not in the last 2 days, but been averaging like 30 views a day or more, sometimes higher than that. So I'm not complaining at all. But, we want this channel to grow. I want this to get out there. And you're going to really help me. Good stuff with your editing, when they see some of the top-notch artwork and even rare pairs. I mean, people just don't know that, but I tried to point out what was really rare. Getting attention on your YouTube is hard. Yeah. I mean, it's not like YouTube. And like Tank says, you don't own your own channel. You're playing in their backyard by their rules. And I know exactly what he's saying because it's the same thing on eBay. Dang, there was 3 of them there. But make sure you check out Pops's channel on Sundays at I think 2:15 Eastern. I think that's right, or maybe 2 o'clock Eastern. We do the show offs, and I show stuff. And Texas Dave Houston from the UK shows off some of his stuff. We did Jack Kirby. We did a last of the minute Neil Adams tribute. That was really cool. I tried to bring you some history about him. We're doing well, we were going to do Joe Kubert, but we're not going to do Joe Kubert this week. It's going to be Pops filling in since Dave is going to be on holiday, and we're going to be showing the CG books that we have backed. So that should be interesting to see what Pops has backed and been sent over, and then what I've backed in like the let's see, since about June of 2020, And I probably won't even have them all gathered up by then, but that's something I've got to get off here and work on too. Just get that ready for Pops' show. I've got a few of them back there. I got a few of them over there. I got a few of them out there. Got some new stuff in too. The last thing was this here. That's why I put it here. Red Koi, original artwork on the cover. Nick Welch's first cover. He said, Red Koi #1. Got that at the Alterna auction. And again, I wish they would coordinate that with Red Valkyrie because they have their auction on the same darn weekend, same darn Saturday that Red Valkyrie has their underground auction. And I've seen that happen like 2 or 3 months in a row. You're splitting your audience. That's crazy. And then right after that, there was an auction by EVS. Not that day, and I got a patch to his new project. He's probably the only person in the world that has this patch besides him right now. Yeah. Sam Vrex. I don't know. I don't know if I've got this with other Alterna, but Red Koi, full. But yeah, his first cover. I forget what he says this is. Looks like a coconut. I'll just go back and I like the koi fish there. Put in there. And I don't know what he does at Alterna, but I like to support the auctions. Comicsgate community, that's cool. Getting attention on your YouTube is hard. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I was just wrapping up and putting away some of this Bronze Age goodness that I showed earlier today and late last night, like bunch of Morbius books and stuff. But and rapping about old war stories, I guess. So you want to know a little bit about me? I like this one. Forgot how many Mark Jewelers, but this is a Mark Jewelers too. Oh hell yeah, that's killer. I have to look up and see who that artist is. Not always that easy because people don't grade stuff like this. That's where those indexes come in handy. But I don't know if it covered Chamber of Chills or not. There is obscure Marvel stuff that's not been reprinted. And that was reprinting like 50 stuff. John Byrne. Okay. But I'm going to get to it, man. Who knows? I might marathon stream here pretty soon. I kind of like this late night streaming. I don't want to, and I know there's some good stuff. Wednesdays are kind of, with some people. And then there's some people like Bancroft and Rob and others that stream all the time, which is good. I'll keep my 4 o'clock slot for sure. But You have a lot of people working for you, Rex? Yeah. I mean, I'm just yeah, I'm getting commission work. I'm trying to get stuff done early. I'm setting an arbitrary time to get this stuff printed by October in case we do have it for Fans Fest. Probably won't. So that gives me all year. But I mean, yeah, I'm excited. And I've already got my next project in the works. Going to be black and white and gray tone, silver boa, film noir type story. So yeah, I've got Doc working for me, Hockey working for me, doing stuff. Vic, um, I'm going to do a manga book, maybe a manga story, I should say. We'll see how it works out. Um, I've already had some manga stickers and a patch, military like patch designed recently, and some stickers. So yeah, I'll be sending you Tank. I'll be sending you some other files as soon as I can get scans and stuff. And I need to get on finding my story to send to Hockey so that he can digitally put it in there and we can finish up those 2 pages. And I'll have a 2-page story, mostly text, but uh, um, crawl space, one of my horror stories, finished along with the main 29 pages. And now that I've introduced the fourth and big main character and they're all on there, I've added 1 page that John drew. I wasn't going to include it. But since now they're all going to be, Interman, the page had Devil Flyer, Interman, Sea Demon, and the Alterna ads will be out here pretty soon too. In 5 of the books, I've got 7 ads and 5 books, um, and they'll be coming out. So I'm excited about that. I know my 3 bundles moved, or 3 of my packages are on the way. Might get them in tomorrow or the next day. Um, Hopefully before the weekend gets here. And then Bog, my swamp creature. So they're all introduced, so I can put that page back in. So that's cool. I can use it in this issue. I wasn't going to use it because we hadn't introduced the characters. But now it looks like we're going to introduce the 4 main characters, and they represent Earth. Bog, Earth, and I've got a cover already done by John in there, with them all 4 on it, penciled in ink with a but anyway, I've shown it. But one represents they represent the 4 elements. But yeah, man, I've been working on stories. I got 1 completed for Doc. I need 1 panel to add to it, maybe. Um, and I know he's chomping at the bit. And I've got Vic working on 2 splash pages for 2 different stories for me. I like to thumbnail things out, and so I've been thumbnailing out. And this Sea Demon's going to tie it all together. He's going to be a linchpin in this whole story. I mean, in a way, uh, deal with past, future events, maybe some crossover immediately in Silver Boa, which is part of it's going to be set in the late 30s and modern day. So it's going to be, I just got some awesome stuff coming, man. Um, go go to sleep and set up a camera so we can watch. Shh, yeah. Yeah, that's what Risey did. What No, it's what Finatra did. That's cool. You guys building a community. Yeah. Yeah, I mean helping each other, We do what we can do. If we're not helping, we're hurting, you know. Many hands make light work. They're cliche, but there's a lot of truth to this on them. And with that, I will get back and busy at it. So good to talk to you, Civility, Comicsgate, Tank, all you guys that were in here. Tree Goblin, Robert being in here. Citizen 333, Jason Bascom for coming in. Appreciate that. Pops. I mean, you name it. Cross Comics. Some people that didn't even chime in. Shadowhawk Backs. Apex Comics. You guys rocked. Manticore. I mean, come on, man. Wonder if Vic's streaming. Manticore left. Of course, he hung around for a good long time. Even Re-Rum. I think I didn't say that right. Re-Rum Trading. His first like. So that's cool. He gave me the first like, and I gave him an orange. Sounds fair. But Shadowhawk Backs gets it for being the first one in here. Pretty quick on the trigger. And only on his second bourbon at the time. I'm impressed. So with that, guys, almost 3 hours. Shoot. Did good. Till next time, keep collecting.